Have you ever stopped mid-act and wondered, why doesn't this feel the same anymore? What once brought comfort, ease, even a quiet sense of release, now feels rushed, distant, or strangely unsatisfying. You're not alone. As men age, the body changes. The mind evolves. Desires shift. And yet very few people talk about how these changes affect one of the most private and personal aspects of a man's life: masturbation. Yes, we said it. Masturbation. Not in a joke, not as a punchline, but as a serious, vital part of your health, mental, emotional, and physical. You see, for men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, self-pleasure isn't just normal. It can be essential. When practiced mindfully, it becomes a form of self-respect, a grounding ritual, a way to stay connected to your body, your vitality, and yes, even your masculinity. But here's the challenge: too many older men carry silent, damaging habits into this act without even realizing it. Habits formed decades ago, ones that no longer serve their aging bodies. According to doctors and men's health experts, there are 7 common mistakes that older men make when it comes to masturbation. And these errors aren't just small quirks. They could be silently draining your energy, lowering your sensitivity, or even contributing to long-term dysfunction. This isn't about shame. It's about awareness. It's about reclaiming this deeply personal space with wisdom, self-acceptance, and renewed vitality. So let's dive in, honestly, respectfully, and with the kind of insight that helps you thrive, not just survive. But before we get into the first mistake, take a moment, subscribe, turn on the bell, and let's keep this conversation going. This channel is dedicated to your health, your energy, and your longevity. If this topic resonates, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, drop a 0 and tell us how we can better support you. Mistake 1: believing in the semen retention myth. Let's begin with one of the most persistent and misunderstood ideas circulating among older men: the belief in semen retention as a form of power. Now, on the surface, the logic seems appealing. If I hold back, I'll preserve energy, maybe boost testosterone, feel younger. But here's the truth: it's not that simple. While short periods of abstinence might lead to temporary hormonal shifts, long-term retention often does more harm than good, especially as you age. Your body was designed for natural release. Suppressing that instinct for too long can create pelvic congestion, irritability, mood swings, and even raise your risk of prostate complications. Think about it. Would you go weeks without stretching your muscles or taking a deep breath? Probably not. So why treat sexual release any differently? Doctors agree, moderate healthy ejaculation, even through masturbation, supports hormonal balance, helps maintain prostate health, reduces anxiety, and can even promote better sleep. When you hold it in chasing some mythical internal power, you often end up with the opposite: frustration, tension, and disconnection from your own needs. And here's a powerful shift in perspective. Masturbation isn't about proving control. It's about understanding your body's rhythm. It's a dialogue, not a battle. Imagine treating it the way you would a slow walk in the woods, with presence, with patience, with reverence. Because when approached with mindfulness, this private act becomes more than release. It becomes restoration. So ask yourself, is the idea of control actually keeping you from feeling more deeply, living more fully, or sleeping more peacefully? And if you're holding on to that myth, what other outdated beliefs might be holding you back? You might be surprised by what comes next. Mistake 2: using the same grip and technique every time. Let's talk about something that almost every man does without thinking: using the same grip, the same motion, the same rhythm, every time. It's understandable. Routine brings comfort. Familiarity brings ease. And when it comes to something as private as masturbation, we often fall into patterns that date back decades, sometimes all the way to adolescence. But here's the hidden danger: your body adapts. When you stimulate yourself the exact same way over and over again, your nervous system begins to hardwire itself to respond to only that pattern. That means over time you may struggle to climax with a partner, feel reduced pleasure, or even begin to worry that your libido is fading. In truth, it's not your desire that's disappearing. It's your body asking for variety. This doesn't mean tossing away what works. It means expanding what's possible. Try switching hands. Vary the speed. change the pressure. Explore different rhythms. Introduce safe, comfortable tools. Even small changes can wake up your senses. Remember, just like your muscles need new challenges to grow stronger, your pleasure deepens when you stimulate new neural pathways. This isn't about novelty for novelty's sake. It's about staying in tune with your evolving body and allowing your sexuality to grow alongside your wisdom. Ask yourself, when was the last time you explored your own pleasure like it was something new? Something alive. You deserve intimacy that evolves with you, not one that fades into silence. But the next mistake is even more common. So common, in fact, that most men have no idea they're doing it. Mistake 3, rushing through the experience. Let's rewind for a moment to your teenage years. Back then, masturbation was often rushed, done in secret, done quickly, done with urgency. But for many men, that hurried pattern never left. And now, years, even decades later, it's become an automatic habit, one you perform on autopilot, one that bypasses real presence, real pleasure. Rushing turns self-pleasure into a transaction, something mechanical, something disconnected. You focus on the outcome, orgasm, instead of the experience. You bypass sensation. You miss the slow buildup, the emotional layers, the healing potential. And here's the consequence: when you rush, your body doesn't have time to fully awaken. Arousal isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional, sensory. Hurrying skips all of that. It's like wolfing down a gourmet meal without even tasting it. What's the point? For older men, this rushed approach can dull your sensitivity, reduce emotional satisfaction, and even make performance with a partner more difficult. But here's the good news. This is one of the easiest patterns to shift. Start by slowing down. Set the intention that this is not about finishing, it's about feeling. Turn the lights low. Breathe deeper. Let your hands wander without pressure or expectation. Explore your body with the curiosity of someone meeting it for the first time. This is not indulgence. This is presence, and presence is where true pleasure lives. So now I ask you, what would it feel like to stop rushing through this part of your life and start savoring it? Slowing down, as we explored earlier, is not just about taking more time, it's about awakening to deeper layers of sensation. But even the most mindful pace won't unlock your full potential if your focus remains limited to just one small part of your body. Mistake of ignoring the rest of your body. Let's face it, most men have spent a lifetime zeroing in on one area during self-pleasure. The genitals become the main event, the only act on stage. It's what we were taught, what we learned in silence, and what we've repeated for years without much thought. But here's the reality: your body is a rich landscape of sensation filled with nerve endings and pleasure zones that extend far beyond your pelvis. When you overlook these areas, you're cutting yourself off from a deeper, fuller experience. Even after 60, your body still holds the potential for remarkable pleasure if you give it a chance. Think about it. Your inner thighs, lower abdomen, chest, neck, and especially the perineum are all highly responsive areas. These aren't just extras, they're vital gateways to arousal, intimacy, and emotional connection. By stimulating only one part of your body, you miss out on the symphony of sensations waiting quietly just beneath your skin. And it's not just about physical touch. These areas hold emotional memory. When you gently touch your chest or trace a warm hand along your neck, you're not just engaging the body, you're calming the nervous system, quieting the mind, and making space for deeper presence. Simple shifts like light massage, warm or cool temperature changes, or just lingering touch in often ignored zones can open the door to entirely new dimensions of pleasure. This isn't indulgence. This is awareness. You're not being experimental or strange. You're being whole. You're honoring the complexity of your body and allowing yourself to experience it fully. Because you are not just a part. You're not just a penis or a hand or a single sensation. You are a system, a beautifully woven network of nerve endings, emotions, memories, and awareness. When you begin to stimulate and appreciate the whole body, your sense of satisfaction naturally expands. The experience becomes richer, fuller, and more emotionally connected. But even with this new awareness, the way you approach touch itself matters more than you might think. And there's one silent, often overlooked habit that could be quietly reducing your pleasure day by day. Mistake 5, avoiding lubrication. Let's be honest, most men over 60 didn't grow up with conversations about lubricant. Many have spent decades masturbating dry, relying on friction and habit without ever questioning if there's a better way. But as we age, so does our skin. The body produces less natural moisture. Sensitivity can change. Touch can feel rougher, more abrupt, or even uncomfortable. And yet, many men still avoid using lubricant. Why sometimes it's old habits, sometimes it's pride, sometimes it's the quiet belief that real men shouldn't need it. But that belief, it's not serving you anymore. In truth, skipping lubricant can make the experience harsher than it needs to be. Friction can cause irritation, tiny tears in the skin, or even numbness over time. These small damages may not be noticeable right away, but over the years they can chip away at your sensitivity, leaving you feeling less and less. Using a good quality lubricant changes everything. It makes the motion smoother, the touch gentler, and the entire act feel more natural, more like shared intimacy. It can revive nerve endings that may have grown dull. It extends the experience without discomfort. And for men with arthritis, hand pain, or stiffness, it reduces the physical effort needed to feel good. Think of it this way. We wear glasses when our eyesight changes. We wear orthopedic shoes for support. So why not give your skin the same kind of help? Lubricant isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's a tool, a simple one. But when used with intention, it can completely transform your experience. So if you've been avoiding it, ask yourself what's really stopping you. Habit, ego, or just not knowing how much better things could feel. Because the truth is, embracing this small change can make you feel more relaxed, more responsive, and more deeply connected to your own body. But even with the right tools, lubricant time awareness, many men still struggle. Why? Because there's one obstacle that's more powerful than dryness, more limiting than routine. It's not physical, it's emotional, and it lives in the shadows of our early beliefs. Mistake 6. Feeling shame or guilt about the act. For countless men over the age of 60, the roots of shame run deep. Maybe you were raised in a household where sexuality was never discussed, or worse, was surrounded by silence and judgment. Maybe you were told it was dirty, sinful, or something to be hidden away. Maybe you were never told anything at all, and the shame simply filled the silence. Even now, decades later, those early messages can still whisper in the background. Logically, you might know that masturbation is natural, that it's healthy, that it relieves stress and supports well-being. But emotionally, you may still feel a flicker of guilt, a sense of secrecy, a need to finish quickly to move on to pretend it never happened. That inner tension doesn't just stay in your mind, it affects your body. It dulls your sensation. It disconnects you from your pleasure. It can make the entire experience feel mechanical, rushed, or emotionally flat. But here's the truth you need to hear. There is nothing shameful about taking time for yourself. There is nothing dirty about exploring your own body with care and respect. In fact, when done with intention, self-pleasure becomes a form of emotional grounding, a form of healing, a form of quiet connection to the deepest parts of you. Studies have shown that regular mindful masturbation in older adults can improve mood, reduce anxiety, promote better sleep, and boost self-esteem. But none of those benefits can be fully felt if guilt clouds the moment. Letting go of shame starts by asking an honest question. Are these feelings truly mine? Or were they given to me long ago? Because once you realize that many of those beliefs were taught, not chosen, you can begin to rewrite them. And when that shift happens, everything changes. Pleasure becomes peaceful. Touch becomes sacred. And you begin to reclaim a part of yourself that was never meant to be hidden in the first place. But emotional liberation, as powerful as it is, isn't the end of the journey. There's still one final mistake, one that most men don't even realize is an option. And once you discover it, your entire experience might evolve in ways you never imagined. After learning how tools and techniques can bring comfort and new levels of pleasure, there's one final shift that ties everything together: the mindset. Because in the end, it's not just about what you do, but how you see yourself in the process. Mistake 7, ignoring tools and enhancements designed for men over 60. As time moves forward and the body naturally evolves, many men begin to notice changes in sensitivity, flexibility, and endurance. These are not signs of decline, they're signs of life. And yet a surprising number of men still cling to the exact same self-pleasure routines they developed in their younger years, as if their bodies hadn't changed at all. Why sometimes it's pride, sometimes it's discomfort with the idea of trying something new. And often it's simply because they're unaware that there are now tools specifically designed to support their current needs tool made for the mature male body. But by ignoring these enhancements, you could be unintentionally limiting your comfort, your pleasure, and even your confidence. The truth is the world of male self-care has come a long way. There are now countless tools tailored for men over 60 soft silicone sleeves that mimic the feel of real-touch ergonomic designs that reduce strain on stiff joints and gentle massagers that awaken parts of the body you may have neglected for years. These aren't gimmicks, and they're certainly not replacements for your masculinity. Think of them the same way you think of reading glasses or orthopedic shoes. They're not a weakness, they're a smart adaptation. Just like you'd never strain your eyes to read small print when a pair of glasses could help, why strain your body when a thoughtful tool can enhance your experience? And let's be clear, using tools doesn't mean you're losing your sexuality. On the contrary, it means you're evolving it. You're embracing this phase of life with wisdom, intention, and care. With the right support, many men rediscover sensations they thought were gone forever. Some even find new levels of pleasure that reignite curiosity and vitality in ways they hadn't felt in decades. But while tools and physical techniques are valuable, they're only part of the transformation. What truly reshapes your experience is the mindset you bring to the act itself. A new mindset and a complete approach to self-pleasure. Perhaps the most powerful shift you can make isn't in your body, it's in your thinking. As you step into your 60s, 70s, and beyond, your relationship with self-pleasure has the potential to become something entirely new. It's no longer about chasing release, hiding in shame, or clinging to old routines. It's about curiosity. It's about care. It's about honoring the man you've become. This stage of life invites you to let go of the outdated myths and emotional baggage that may have once shaped your experience. When you release those ideas about performance, secrecy, guilt, you create space for something more nourishing. You begin to treat self-pleasure not as a habit, but as a ritual of self-respect. Something intentional, something healing. Slowing down, trying new techniques using well-designed tools, exploring your entire body, all of these bring you into deeper connection with yourself. And when paired with emotional clarity, something powerful happens. Pleasure becomes more than a moment of physical satisfaction. It becomes a form of self-love. You are not just seeking release anymore. You are creating connection with your body, your emotions, and your inner sense of worth. And perhaps for the first time in your life, you begin to see self-pleasure not as a private escape, but as a vital part of your overall health. A way to reduce stress, to sleep better, and to feel grounded, to reconnect with the joy of being in your body exactly as it is today. A complete approach honors your full humanity. It recognizes that your needs are valid, your desires are healthy, and that moments of pleasure are not indulgences, they're essential acts of care. You are not too old. In fact, you may be stepping into a chapter of life that's more conscious, more connected, and more alive than ever before. And it all begins with the quiet moments, when no one else is watching. Conclusion. Reclaiming pleasure, confidence, and self-respect. Growing older doesn't mean letting go of intimacy. It means approaching it with greater wisdom and deeper intention. Throughout this journey, we've uncovered 7 of the most common mistakes older men make when it comes to self-pleasure. Believing old myths, using outdated techniques, rushing the experience, ignoring the rest of the body, skipping lubrication, carrying shame, and overlooking helpful tools. But here's what matters most. You now have the knowledge to do something different. You can reshape this deeply personal part of your life into something that reflects who you are now, not who you once were. This is not about clinging to the past. It's about creating a new, richer connection with your body and mind, one that meets you with compassion and honesty. You've spent a lifetime growing, learning, and evolving. That experience counts for something. It means that your pleasure, your confidence, and your sexual well-being are still very much alive, waiting to be reclaimed. Many men discover that with just a few small changes in mindset and approach, their enjoyment not only returns, it deepens. What once felt routine can become rejuvenating. What once brought guilt can now bring joy. This isn't just about physical release. It's about honoring your journey, embracing your truth, and giving yourself permission to feel good without apology. So now that you've taken the time to learn, the next step is simple: begin. Because what's waiting on the other side may be more rewarding than you ever imagined. Let this be your reminder. You're not done growing, you're just getting started. And now we'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you have learned today that you plan to apply in your own life? Leave a comment and let's support one another in this journey toward freedom, connection, and confidence. If you found this helpful, click like, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living fully confidently and on your own terms.